Welcome back to America Right Now. And one of the biggest stories of the week, clearly, the catastrophic collapse, and you can see it there on your screen, of the Francis Scott Key Bridge over the port of Baltimore after being rammed by a cargo ship. You see it there, just gone in seconds. It's a reminder that this country's economy is dependent on our infrastructure. One of the accomplishments of the Biden White House that they are touting this year in the re-election campaign is what they call their historic investment in rebuilding our aging public infrastructure. $1.2 trillion was allocated for those projects. But 3 years in, is all that money making a real difference? And where is it going to begin with? Let's ask a senior policy analyst for the Grover Herman Center for the Federal Budget, David Ditch, along with the Director of Research for the Government Accountability Institute, Seamus Bruner. David, let's start with you. Let's just break down where America's infrastructure stood back in 2021. So according to the American Society of Civil Engineers, there were 1.7 million miles of public roads and 200,000 bridges that were in need of repair or replacement. And that's just kind of for starters. $1.2 trillion of my money, your money. Are we making a dent?
Honestly, I would say we're losing ground, if anything. Just a couple days ago, I was shocked to learn that according to the Federal Department of Transportation, highway construction costs have gone up 58% from the end of 2020 to the end of 2023, which means that even though we're spending more on highways, we're getting less value. And I would believe that the number one factor is the unprecedented amount of red tape the Biden administration is attaching to every single infrastructure program that gets its hands on.
You know, 130,000 miles, the Biden White House says that they've done of repairs, only 7,800 bridge repairs. Seamus, how much of the money has been deployed on climate change stuff? And how much has actually gone to roads and bridges and tunnels? Do we even know?
Yeah, Tom, it's great to be with you. You're keying in on a very important point. This bill was never about reducing inflation. It was the Inflation Production Act, actually. And inside of it was approximately $400 billion in crony handouts to green energy companies. This would be owned by people like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and a lot of the Silicon Valley guys got a big boost for their investments for electric vehicles. Now, the shocking thing is that the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos' Washington Post, was forced to admit yesterday that only 7 charging stations have been built. Biden promised 7, not 7,000, just 7. Biden promised 500,000. So, yeah, where has the money gone is a great question. $47 billion on these climate resiliency initiatives, too, was in that bill. David, so we spent $1 trillion plus. We've only hit a fraction of the necessary projects. I feel like we've seen this movie before with Obama's $787 billion bill that had all these shovel-ready projects. How do we get any of this stuff done in reality?
What we really need to do, not just down the road, but as soon as possible, is to reduce the number of unproductive mandates that are being slapped on top of all these infrastructure programs. The Biden administration is adding demands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, or racial justice /or environmental justice on programs like constructing highways, dealing with rural electrification projects.
Yeah.
And when you have all these additional costs, you're not only increasing the cost, you're getting less value for our tax dollars.
Sure.
But it also makes it take longer to get the projects completed, which of course is the reason why there's only 7 EV charging stations.
Seamus, bottom line this for us. What do people need to know as this becomes a campaign issue this year? Because you know that everybody's going to be talking about infrastructure. Bottom line it for us real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that Biden is taking trillions of dollars, not just in this bill, but others, spending it on wasteful projects, or worse, wasting it on rehousing migrants, taking your money and spending it on things that hurt you. I mean, planes are falling out of the sky. You see the Boeing scandal. You've got bridges collapsing, but it's also the opportunity cost. That money actually could go toward making America great, and Biden is just squandering it.
David Ditch, Seamus Bruner, thank you so much. We appreciate you breaking that down for us.